The third quarter adjusted earnings per share coming in at $3.66, compared with analyst average estimate of $3.53. Revenue at $5.74 billion versus analyst average estimate of $5.63 billion. Company also raising its full year guidance on both revenue and adjusted earnings per share. Revenue now estimated to be $22.8 to $23 billion. And guys, that midpoint, it was raised by more than $250 million, which is more than the beat that they had in the third quarter. So that a true raise, yet the midpoint is still below the consensus estimate for the full year, guys. Same story for raising its adjusted earnings guidance. And Amgen is up 3% there in the after hours. Back over to you.
Meg, thank you. Paul Hickey, we are seeing Amgen trade higher right now on these results. Your initial take?
Just the headline numbers seem good. I haven't had a chance to look into the details, but Amgen's an incredibly cheap stock relative to the market and to its sector, and it pays a dividend yield of about 2.8%. So it really checks a lot of the boxes here for investors. And if you did see any weakness, we would be using it definitely as a buying opportunity.
Yeah, and Mike Santoli, when you look at what outperformed today in the market, best performing sector in the S&P was healthcare.
Yes. Merck and Pfizer had pretty clean quarters before the market opened. That gave a little bit of a tailwind. Amgen, as a stock in general, has been quietly acting a lot better. It's been working its way higher. And there were years when it looked cheap and it seemed like it was a quality name, and it didn't work. So I do think that you're starting to see a little more of a attraction to healthcare as an alternative to the deep core value stocks, just because there is a little bit of a longer-term growth profile to some of them.
Barb, do you see it that way, or would you be putting your money to work in other sectors of the S&P?
Well, I love the high growth tech, and so any of this sell-off, I would be there. But, I think Merck numbers were great. I'm long Merck. I would stay long. Pfizer was surprisingly good. And, of course, now we have Johnson & Johnson. And Amgen, I'm not sure about. I think that you're not going to see a lot of upside in the near term, but they've got such a great product line, but it's early stage clinical. So we're not even going to have proof of concept information until next year. But probably not much downside. And these numbers were encouraging.
Mike, I want to come back to the broader markets today. What happened intraday to Apple and with it kind of the rest of the tech names?
It didn't seem like there was anything in particular. It was a little bit of just a general unwind of the mega cap tech trade. Obviously, for Alphabet, it was a little bit of a staticky quarter and it wasn't received all that well, but it also was at a high. Apple also at an all-time high going into a Fed meeting. It just seemed like a little bit of sort of skimming off the top of the stuff that had worked pretty well. So beyond that, it doesn't seem like it was very news driven.